Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, welcome in. Glad you're along for the ride. Frangie Carlyon La Selva. Today's new drug. Football. Sort of.
It's a good one.
Sort of football.
Yeah,
sort of football, right?
We were on the premises. There were footballs being thrown by professional athletes. Wearing Jaguars gear.
That's the doggone
so
right.
to me, yeah, it was a good football day.
You know what? I'm going to break down every guy out there.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you.
Hi.
They've got a tight end named Josh Lingenfelter, and when the felt gets loose, you got a problem. I don't know what the Houston Texans are doing right now. I don't know what D'Amico Ryans is doing on his Friday.
Right.
But if he's not watching Josh Lingenfelter film, he's in trouble.
Yeah, the felt might have run right by us.
Yeah, he did.
I think we all kind of broke it down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to break down the felt.
Yeah.
You break down the felt on a Friday, good day.
Very good day. Going to be some good competition in that room.
Oh, my goodness. So today we saw the first mini camp. The Jags invited the media out to see the entire workout, which is kind of cool. I do have a few thoughts about it. Not a lot, but a few. Doug also met with the media. You'll hear some of those thoughts coming up in just a bit this hour. So a lot to talk about today on the program. Glad you're with us on this Friday installment of our program. Our Fridays, as you know, always brought to you by our friends at Big Chief Tire Company. Big Chief, they do a great job, the best in the business. 5 locations in town. Orange Park is their most recent, 2 on the west side. The north side has 1, and so does south side, and that's where we go. All right, a lot of things to get to today on the program. We'll touch on a few other things as well, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna shout out the Chicago Bears. Can I do that real quick?
Absolutely.
And my friend Taylor Dahl will appreciate this, I would imagine.
Is this trying to get you like good mojo for the Pirates-Cubs series coming up?
No, because I'm going to talk so much trash. Mm-hmm. I even told her today I'm going to talk. So I want to show up at her house, but she said she's on vacation. I think to duck me.
Yeah, obviously.
I think that's why she's on vacation. I'm pretty convinced that's why she's leaving. I asked her today if she's scared. I said, you scared? She said a little. I said, you're joking. She says, thank you, though, for appeasing me by saying that you're a little bit scared. So I appreciate that. So I'm gonna quickly, on a serious note, shout out the Chicago Bears quickly. Matt Eberflus today said Caleb Williams is our starter. Isn't it healthy? Because coaches so often following the code of competition, don't want to do that, and we all kind of don't. We chuckle. I mean, Urban had Urban had him switching goddamn reps.
I mean, that was a complete joke. So we've seen it handled in a complete joke fashion.
But even other coaches.
Yes, this will be refreshing.
Even other coaches,
and it's good of Chicago to go about it this way.
He's the starter,
right.
and Matt Eberflus came out today and said he's our starter. Let's not be more coaches that say let's not be silly about this. I one thing I always appreciated about Spurrier when he was at Florida, if they were going to play Vanderbilt, he would pretty much say, we probably should beat Vanderbilt.
Right.
He wouldn't say, well, they got that new defensive tackle from Chattanooga, and he's better than you guys think he is, and it's going to be a dogfight. Yeah. He would say, we probably ought to beat Vanderbilt.
Right.
I think Eberflus did that today.
Yeah, and again, we've seen both, schools of thought. Doug Marrone was a big, you've got to go earn it guy. So I remember like Leonard Fournette and Cam Robinson, their rookie years, were not running with the first team until pretty deep into training camp. The most ridiculous example was Trevor Lawrence splitting reps with Gardner Minshew, who they ultimately traded before the opener. So you wasted all those first-team reps on a guy that didn't even make it to opening day with you. So that was obviously just malpractice. It's great. Doug Peterson's done a good job with that. Brian Thomas is going to run with the ones immediately, as he should. And Doug's been good about that. I mean, these guys know it's a business, and they understand that if you take a guy in the first round, particularly if you take a guy first overall and it's a quarterback, that guy is the presumed starter. Now that plan could change, but the going in plan, if you're a veteran, is you have to think, well, the rookie's going to be the starter. And unless something gets in the way of that, we know that that's the course they're going to take. I've always thought you insult people's intelligence
100%
when you play this farcical competition game. I think Matt Eberflus made the right decision today. You want to eliminate all the confusion. Houston did it very early last year with C.J. Stroud. Paid off. I don't think that's like the sole reason that C.J. Stroud had the phenomenal rookie year that he had, but it certainly helps because it allows the rookie, particularly at that position, to become a leader. And whether it's a rookie or a 15-year veteran, at the quarterback position, it begs for leadership. And so you've got to enable that player, that young player, to have that leadership authority early on. And the best way to do that is say, this is our guy. He is starting. Get behind him and support him. All
right, so I'm glad he did that. So we'll talk a little bit about the NFL overall. Pete Prisco joins us at 5 o'clock. We'll certainly talk about the Jags' first day on the field with him and some other things around the league as well. So looking forward to that. Other things you'll hear in just a moment from the Doug Peterson press conference. We'll talk a little baseball. Gators playing right now. We'll get to update you on that as best we can as well. So we got a lot of fun things to do today on the program. What'd you think of Landry? Did you get an opinion? I not just because of today.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. Normally we watch kind of apart at camp because you want to have eyes on everything.
Right.
But today, with it being in the indoor and really there only being a handful of interesting things to focus on, we both were watching him. And I thought he looked good.
He did look good.
I will say it's hard for me to know about twitch and burst. I mean, I think you've got to really have a coach's eye to see that. I mean, he certainly looked athletically, he looked fine to me. The thing that stood out about Jarvis Landry is what an effortless job he does bringing the ball in. It's incredibly crisp. He was born to catch a football. You can just see it. I mean, there's not even a hint of needing kind of 2 touches before he secures it. I mean, it's just everything was just neatly brought in, tucked away, and so that stood out. I think it would make a lot of sense if the player, if his intentions and the club's intentions are aligned. I think it would make a lot of sense to add Jarvis Landry to the 53 or the 90 and give him a shot to make the 53.
And my hope is, let's assume that Brian Thomas, Gabe Davis, and Christian Kirk are the 3 starting receivers. I think, barring injury, that's what it's going to be. I sure would like to have a guy like Jarvis Landry be next up. That when you rotate, when you get a guy hurt, rather than a younger player. I know this Cephas guy that looked good today, by the way, the undrafted rookie that everyone talks about a lot. And I can see why. He looks the part. He really does. But it sure would be nice when you have a good team. And I think, Hays, I've been saying this, when the season ended, I told everybody I thought they had a good team. And people thought you've lost your mind. They've lost 5 out of 6. But my opinion was they had a good team. They had to add to it. I think they've done a good job of adding to it. So all of a sudden, I think it's a double-digit win team. That's my opinion. So when you have a good team, sprinkle in a few veterans, Eric Armstead and Mitch Morse, and now Jarvis Landry if he makes the team. That's 3 guys that have played a lot of football. They've played a lot of good football in the NFL, and I think when you get good, you need some guys who've been around and had done that. I really think they needed last year more of a veteran presence, and I think they kind of went to school on that.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. I think it's a great point because if you could rewind the clock to Christian Kirk's injury, knowing now what they absolutely, I think, would have reached out to a player like Jarvis Landry who was on the street and been like, look, are you healthy? Because we need somebody that can, take 5 steps and turn around to convert a 3rd and 4 and to know where they're supposed to be. Jarvis Landry's not a home run threat, but he's exactly what they would have needed when Christian Kirk was out, which is a security blanket for Trevor that can get up to speed very quickly. And that's what they didn't have. To your point, they relied on young guys that were not ready, and it really hurt them that they weren't ready.
All right, so we'll talk about a lot today. We'll give you updates on college baseball. We'll talk a little NBA. The Celtics had one handed into them last night. I mean, I'm going to tell you what now. The Cavs really went off on the Celtics. Celtics couldn't make anything, so we'll certainly get to that. We've got a lot of things to touch on today on the program. But let's start by hearing from the head coach, Doug Peterson. He met with the media before the workout today, talked about a number of things. In fact, what he's very encouraged about is that these are voluntary workouts, but guys want to be here.
The biggest thing is the number of guys that are here. I think that's a credit to them with the voluntary program. And I get it. There's workout bonuses and all that kind of stuff and contracts, but I think other than that, they want to be here.
And not only do they want to be here, all these rookies not only want to be here, but there's a little juice with this rookie class.
It's been good. Been a lot of energy, out there. phase 2, we're not competing, against each other, offense, defense, more so than just competing with yourself and to make yourself better.
Now, we've talked about Jarvis Landry, the veteran, a 5-time Pro Bowler, being in rookie minicamp. How did that happen?
I just think it comes together because you just want to be able to put eyes on as many players as you can. And he's obviously played, several years in this league, and, been talented guy, and just see where he's at. He was out of ball, I believe, in 23, and 22 was kind of his last time. He's been hurt a little bit, so just kind of seeing where he is health-wise and just see where he's at, and it's nothing more than just coming in and, a tryout type basis.
All right, and so one thing you can do, he's been there, and that's one thing that Doug talked about. He's been there. He's not new at this. The rookies are new at it, but all the rookies, including the first-round pick, Brian Thomas Jr., can certainly learn something from a veteran who knows how to do it.
It is a really good learning experience for a guy like Brian, to come in here and see Jarvis, see how he handles these 2 days. Listen, this is geared more for rookies, these 2 days. I mean, Jarvis is a vet, and he kind of knows what it's like. So I think it'll be good to kind of see how Jarvis handles himself, as a professional. And it'll at least make an impression on Brian, this weekend.
And Brian's not the only highly drafted rookie they're going to watch this week. You're going to hear in just a couple minutes, you're going to hear Hays' one-on-one with Mason Smith. But Hays even asked Doug Peterson today, what do you want to see from Mason Smith?
It's going to be a lot of individual, a lot of drill work, fundamentals, teaching, just the retention, just see what he can retain, just see his athleticism, see him move around. Again, there's no pass rush, no offense, defensive stuff, and it's just a matter of, I think taking what he's being taught in the classroom, obviously take it to the field, and then, no more than just watching him run around.
All right, a couple other thoughts from the head coach. Number one thing I did take out of it, I'm going to go over some of my thoughts, things that jumped off the page for me. One is this. Ryan Nielsen is the head coach of the defense. It's very clear when you hear Doug Peterson talk about it, how he's letting go of the defense, not that he was involved in it all that much before because he's an offensive-minded head coach. But it's Ryan Nielsen's defense, and the coach today talked about his new coordinator's scheme.
What I've seen so far, the way the coaches have coached them and some of the drill work that they're doing on the field. Secondary, if you go back and watch, what Ryan's done in his past, it's a lot of shell defense to start, even though we'll play some single high stuff. It's, the corners are going to be in more press alignment, but not necessarily press technique or press coverage, but press alignment. Still play man, mix those. So it's all different. And so every position is going to, have to learn.
And finally, it's a better football team than it was. Doug talked about how they've improved this roster.
I think, number one, we've gotten a bigger, right? Just physically bigger, right? With some of the draft picks and undrafted guys, and even some of our players coming back, we've gotten bigger. I think speed, we've gotten a tick faster. Obviously we know Brian's speed as a wide receiver, and some of the DBs now. I mean, we've gotten faster. And then when we put the pads on in July and August, we'll see where we are physically.
And I left that one for last, but I do think that's the theme of the new team, Hays. I think the theme is they are a longer, bigger, and presumably more physical football team than the end of the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, there was some other really interesting tidbits from Doug. It was interesting. I was curious why Ventrell Miller wasn't out for this, with there being some, like Eric Hallett, who's obviously been here, was a draft pick, but participated in the rookie minicamp. Ventrell Miller not available. Cooper Hodges, Christian Braswell, they were on IR last year, and there's this it's really a rule they should probably update. But because they were on IR, they're not eligible for the rookie minicamp. Again, it's no big deal. It's like, 3 days out there. But, Ventrell Miller probably needs all the reps that he can get after missing the entirety of his rookie year. So that was interesting. He went over Tyler Lacey and Yasir Abdullah and how they fit in with this new scheme, and said Lacey's a defensive tackle. Abdullah, they really believe, can give them some pass rush specialty with basically in the same position that Devin Lloyd's going to be in. So I think that's exciting for Devin Lloyd in terms of, because obviously he's going to have the lion's share of that role. And I thought Doug finally kind of barbed back at Trent Baalke, which I thought, was interesting. Obviously, people can interpret it how they want to interpret it, but the timeline of this, Trent Baalke, waits 2 weeks to do his end-of-season availability and quickly points out the lack of physicality from the team and that being an issue. And then you get a few, weeks later, draft luncheon, down the road a little bit, and Trent Baalke is asked about the collapse, and his response is, well, I think, that's more of a question for coach, to which Doug Peterson's eyes about popped out of his head. So Doug's been kind of waiting, I think, and today was the day that, it was, and again, not that this is a huge deal. I'm not trying to say that they're at each other's throats, but I do think it irritated Doug, and I think it came back today. JJ, if you can play 17, if that's available, just let me know. But I thought it was really interesting when Doug was asked specifically about Trent Baalke saying the team not being physical, and were you able to accomplish those goals?
The physicality part of it, I kind of chuckle when people say be more physical. I mean, we play football. It's a physical sport, right? I mean, it's how we teach our players to maybe you can help them be more physical, just like you can help a quarterback be more accurate, right, with his throw. So it's a matter of just doing it.
Yeah, I hear you, Hays, and I know you tweeted about that too. I didn't hear it as, let me take a shot at the GM or defend what the GM is saying. I heard it more, we've all been, me included, we've all been talking about a team's not physical enough. I think Doug just felt like he had heard enough from the masses because the physicality, and by the way, I don't think the team was physical enough. I think they got out physical. I think
Trent Baalke is right, but I don't think Doug Peterson liked it being pointed out.
I hear you.
And today was the day that he finally was like, all right.
Yeah, my take, I just thought he's heard it so much that he just said, everyone's talking about physicality. It's football. We're physical enough. So, but either way,
they are, and everybody's talking about it because it came from his general manager.
Yeah. He's long. What we do know is they're longer and bigger. And you would assume that means more physical. We'll see if they wind up playing that way. All right, I do want you to hear from the new defensive lineman, second round draft pick, who may be a very good player, has a chance from the people you talk to in Baton Rouge to be a really special player. Mason Smith, the subject of yet another Hays Carlyon one-on-one.
We are pleased to be joined with Jaguars rookie defensive tackle Mason Smith here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to meet you. How you doing?
I'm doing great today, man. Blessed beyond measure, and happy to be here, man.
What's it like going through this, and what'd you learn today?
It's been fun, man. Just being able to critique. One of these things that I wanted to have and wanted to endure coming through this process, man, is just being able to have real coaching and get the real feedback I needed and be able to take that constructive criticism and, take my game to the next level, man. So just being able to come out here, doing some things good, but also doing some things, not so good and messing up, and being able to take that constructive criticism, man, and, progressing every rep. That's what it's all about for me.
Mason, tell us about your family. Are they excited that you're going to be in Jacksonville?
Man, they're ecstatic. My mom soon will be making that transition to Florida with me. She's out in Mississippi right now, right outside of Jackson. But they're excited, man. Like I said, man, just being able to be closer to home. It's an 8-hour drive from my house. So, being closer to home, man, and having that opportunity to still get to see my family and see my brothers, my sisters. My grandmothers are both 85, so they'll be able to come if they, if need be. So, yeah, man, it's been a blessing. They're very excited, and we're excited as a family, man.
That's awesome. What did Pete Jenkins mean to you?
That's my guy. Yeah. Through and through. I actually talked to him last week, man, but, for me, with him, he always had confidence in me, and he always trusted me to do the right thing and everything like that, man. And, I feel like you do something, you go harder for somebody that really has confidence in you, and, he's helped me so tremendously, and just being able to mold me and help shape me into the player I am today, man, and in the short period of time that we had together, and just, continuously progressing and hone in on the things that I needed to hone in on. But I love him to death. That's my guy for my life, for the rest of my life.
You obviously are very familiar with some of the other guys in the draft class like Brian and so forth, but Jarian has got an energy to him. I know you didn't play with him, but your early impressions of Jarian.
Yeah, man, big personality guy, man, great dude, hard worker, and he's just a funny guy, man. So, you know, I'm glad to be able to be here with him, you know, finally not on the other side from him. And, you know, just being able to progress with great players, man. He's a great player, and I love to be around him. And, you know, he's a great personality, great dude, so we're going to keep rolling.
We enjoyed talking to you the night you got picked, and you kind of told us about some of the players that you emulate. But remind listeners, who are some of the guys at the NFL level that, Mason, you feel like your skills translate well to what they've been able to do as well?
You know, I definitely look at bigger body defensive linemen, even one of the guys that I'll have in my room with me, Eric Armstead, man. Just things that he does that I feel like that I could incorporate in my game and take that to the next level, man. And guys like him, Chris Jones, DeForest Buckner, you know, a little bit of Leonard Williams, a little bit of Dexter Lawrence here and there, man. But, you know, just those bigger body interior guys that, you know, could play all 3 downs, all 4 downs, man, and cause havoc.
Mesa, what are some things you like to do away from the football field? Are you a fisherman, hunter, or a golfer?
Man, I like to fish. I like to golf. I just got into golf this past year, man. And I'm definitely trying to get better at that. But, you know, I got to work on football first, and that'll come second, man. But I like to fish. I like to golf, man. I got 2 dogs, so eventually they'll get out here once I get out the hotel and everything, man. Chill with my girl. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm a normal guy, man. I don't do too much. I'm more of a homebody, so, you know, I just like to chill, be around my people, be around the people that I know love me, and everything of that sort, man.
Awesome. Well, Mason, we're certainly glad you're here. Look forward to covering you, and certainly best of luck to you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, really enjoyed talking with Mason Smith today. And again, it's going to be light. We can't get too much into
football.
Hang with
his girl and his dogs.
Yeah,
My God,
got here.
He doesn't have beat that plan.
Yeah, it was fun just getting to know a little bit about Mason as a person. And, I think he's going to do great things here. Certainly looking forward to it. And obviously we won't really start to get any definitive results until the pads go on in August.
There is a good vibe when they're out there, though, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
And football, and I know NFL has become sort of a year-round thing now, but there's a good vibe when you have it, even if it's just a bunch of guys, most of whom you didn't know before, running around. There is sort of a good vibe to it. I'll tell you what else is a good vibe. We've got round 2.
Wow.
Of to try to find America's best rock anthem. Did you know that?
I did not.
Oh,
but
yeah.
This is big.
Okay, I know that
Oh,
Bohemian Rhapsody is going to be in round. They look like the team to beat in bracket 2.
Yeah.
But they're going to get staunch competition, okay? Did you really think Boston wasn't going to be in this tournament? Pretty good chance. The selection committee was probably going to favor Boston, just so you know that.
You're the conference commissioner of Boston.
I am that.
Yeah, it's a great selection, and this is one where
be careful.
This could be an upset.
Be careful.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Be careful, Freddie Mercury.
More than a feeling is made the second bracket, the second regional, along with Bohemian Rhapsody, another song you'll hear Monday and Tuesday. Then we have a poll coming up in the middle of the week. When we come back, I'll give you my impressions. Hays and I'll both go kind of through what we saw today. We'll keep it on Jag Minicamp. It's a Jag day. We'll talk some more Jags after this. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Hays Carlyon for QC Kinetics. The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in the most exciting, revolutionary pain management that we've seen in decades. Regenerative medicine. If you were tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics right now. They've got 2 great locations in the Jacksonville area, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. Call them for a free consultation at 904-274-5522. They have availabilities. You can get in, go see them this week. Again, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. QC Kinetics is leading the field in this work. No downtime, no surgery. For that pain in your hips, your shoulders, your knees, this is a solution for you. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power. Give them a call today, 904-274-5522 in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra Beach. That's QC Kinetics.
Get Florida Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
The Gators get top 5 Kentucky in Gainesville. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday at noon on 1010 a.m.
Nimnick Chevrolet is Northeast Florida's Silverado truck headquarters. Frank Frangie here. With new shipments arriving daily, Nimnick Chevrolet has the best selection of Silverado trucks on the ground in town. Nimnick Chevrolet is conveniently located on the corner of Park and Cassett Avenue or online at nimnickchevy.com. Nimnick Chevrolet is family-owned and operated. No one cares more about their customers before and after the sale. That's Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Series 2 of Gold Rush baseball jerseys came out last week with a strong 88-player checklist. Each box comes with an autographed baseball jersey from one of the stars of the 30 MLB teams. It's Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Denny Thompson here. Tackle burglars and protect your turf. Give yourself peace of mind catching everything around your home with Tyson Sound & Security's cutting-edge surveillance cameras. For safety and convenience, Tyson has you covered for all home cameras and security systems. I'm talking HD recording, night vision, and remote alerts all from your phone or computer. Call Tyson Sound & Security right now at 904-762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security. Security and automation experts.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Frustrated taking pills that don't work? Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Hey, I know we love our happy hours, but have you been to Mr. Chubby's Wings for lunch lately?
Yep, their new specials are awesome. I eat lunch there all the time.
I went this week and got wings, a drink, and chips for $8.
As usual, the best prices in town. You can't hardly find anyone doing $8 lunch anymore.
I know. I'm saving my money for the weekends with $8 lunch specials.
Save your money for the weekends. Enjoy $8 lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3 locations serving you for all sports all year. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fish are good at hiding. Captain Kevin can help you find them.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss on 1010XL AM.
Time for a spring septic clean? For just $525, Duck Duck Rooter will pump out your septic tank, clean your outlet filter, plus send a plumber to your home to provide drain cleaning to your main sewer line. 904-862-6769. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Corona's the cold one you're craving all spring and all summer. Celebrate the season from Cinco de Mayo on, always refreshing, always hitting the spot. And with Corona Premier, it's only 90 calories and pairs perfectly with almost any appetite or adventure. It's easy to enjoy the summer sun when you know you're reaching for a cold Corona is only a cooler away. Find it at your local grocer or convenience store. Corona Premier. Light and refreshing, perfect for any day or night under the sun.
Hays Carlyon here. Tired of missing out on the conversation due to hearing loss? At Jacksonville Hearing and Balance, their team of audiologists led by Dr. Douglas Green can help you rediscover the joy of connection. Visit jhbi.org today.
In sports, we love to see just who the top dog is. Even better news now, Underdog Fantasy is back. Perhaps it's you. They're back with Champions. Champions is a player versus player fantasy game where you have the opportunity to win up to 100 times in one night by beating out the pack. And you do it real simple. Real simple. Higher or lower. It's all you got to do. There's a statistical projection. You either go higher or you go lower. You add up your picks and you count your cash. It can be as simple as coin flip, higher or lower, or you can use all the resources they have on a terrific app. I got on the app this week, played around with it, learned it inside and out. Yeah, so my contests haven't gone so great yet. But hey, that's why there's more season. So, discover what Underdog Champions is all about and go right now to your app store and download the Underdog Fantasy app today. Use promo code PROSSER and you'll get your player special plus a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Frangie Carlyon, La Selva. Friday show's always brought to you by our friends at Big Chief Tire Company. All right, give me a list of what jumped off the page for you today. I got a list. I know you got a list as well. What grabbed you today, day one of Jaguar rookie minicamp?
I would say, Brian Thomas certainly looks the part as you would expect, and excited to see how he'll look when he is running with Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis and the like. So, but yeah, and impressed with Brian Thomas from what we saw. Again, Jarvis Landry to me was who I focused on the most because he's had already such a good career. I mean, he's had a lot of great moments in the NFL, and obviously does he have another lap around the track in him? And so I thought he caught the ball very smoothly. I mean, it seemed like from a wheel standpoint, there certainly was enough there with Jarvis Landry. So I'm intrigued. He didn't express great optimism that he's going to be a Jaguar, and so I think we'll see what ends up happening. But you know how certain guys, we talked about this with Justin Blackmon, like certain guys just have hands where the ball just doesn't move. Like they are able to corral the football at such an effortless, smooth fashion, and that really popped to me watching Jarvis Landry today. So that was exciting. Certainly Mason Smith, his physicality, was interesting just to see him up close and personal. Obviously not doing anything in terms of contact. One guy that I was really intrigued to see was Miles Cole, the 7th-round pick, who's 6'6", 278. I mean, the traits are incredible, but he's got one of the oddest bodies of any NFL player I've ever seen, because he does have this incredible frame, but his calves look like he's a slot receiver.
Right, he's lean down.
Yeah, it's a very unique build, and so but it'll be fun seeing if they have found a hidden gem with Miles Cole, and I was a little disappointed in Cam Little because I only looked up to watch him kick twice and he missed them both. But anyway, not that it's, again, this is just
they need a new kicker then. I mean,
I'm not suggesting that.
It's clear now.
I'm not suggesting that. I just right. The other thing too that I thought was really cool was we finally got, I say finally, it's the first time we could be out there, but we've been talking about the new kickoff rule. So it was cool to see the first way in which they're drilling it. And what stood out to me in seeing it was the amount of weaving that was sort of involved in it. So it's going to be very, it's going to be, I think it's going to make and break some seasons. I think teams are going to miss the playoffs because they don't handle it well, and teams that probably shouldn't have made the playoffs are going to because they harness this new rule and use it to their benefit. I think the Jaguars are very well positioned to do that. And rookie Keelan Robinson obviously was out there and obviously is very fast. But I thought that was really interesting, just seeing the formation and how they want the guys to go in terms of blocking when you're only 10 yards apart.
I thought, I wrote down in my notes, one of the first notes I made is just how weird it looked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, remember, I'm trying to describe this. If you haven't watched one of these, the USFL or wherever they had it, UFL, whichever spring league had this, when you watch a kickoff, and I think many have seen it, but if you haven't, indulge us here for a second. If you haven't watched a kickoff before in one of these new leagues, you can't imagine how weird it's going to look. Typically a kickoff, one team is on their own 30, right? And the other team is they're more than 10 yards apart, right? But they're all maybe you can be 10, you can be within 10 yards, but most of your players are spread out. So you may have 4 or 5 that are 10 yards apart, then 3 or 4 more that are deep, then 2 more deep, and then a deep guy. So the receiving team is all spread out, and so the kicking team kicks from his own 30, and then the receiving team is all spread out, and that's where you have the fast collisions. Well, now the kicking team kicks from closer to the opposing goal line, but all or 10 of the 11 guys, is it 10 or maybe 9 of the 11 guys, have to be within 10 yards. and all the kicking guys are. So everybody that starts, other than the return guy and the kicker, I guess, are 10 yards apart. So there's no big collision. So those big collisions you see all the time.
You're eliminating the Braveheart medieval. Let's
Right.
run 500 yards at each other
as
and
fast
then
as
battle.
we can go.
Right.
And so they've eliminated that big collision that they all have. So it's really weird looking to me. So that stood out for me. All right, some other things that stood out to me. Brian Thomas Jr. looks the part. He's big, 6'3", 6'4", 209, 210. He looks fast. You can't tell today, but he sure looks fast, didn't he? He's twitchy. You're right about catching the ball out in his hands. He snatches the ball. The big physical receivers go and just snatch it. They almost attack it. It's almost like they're against the oxygen, against the air, and they snatch it out of there. And he's that guy. He changes directions. I did think Jarvis Landry looked good. I thought Cephas, one of the rookie receivers, looked good. It was weird only having one real quarterback, Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah, and by the way, does he have to be in a red non-contact jersey?
I think they do.
I think they do. I mean, what are we doing here? It's Brennan Armstrong.
Well,
I mean,
we're
not having contact anyway.
They don't hit a lot anyway. So I think I think
make sure Brennan Armstrong's in a non-contact jersey.
Yeah. So I think part of it is you've got red just signifies that's what the quarterbacks wear.
Yeah.
But he was throwing half the passes. And then they have, I don't know who it was, but some guy on the staff who was a quarterback who threw fine.
One guy threw fine. One guy had one that was not all that great, and Doug Peterson gave him some light barbing about it.
Yeah. So there's some other guy throwing. So, but the receivers stood out to me. What stood out to me about the linemen is they were in good shape. You know, and I said this when I came on with the ladies on Helmets and Heels today. Sometimes your linemen 6'3", 330 can be a fat guy, big. Other times 6'3", 330 can be what Baselli was. You look lean. You know, you look at Roy Robertson Harris. Look at Calais. Calais was 300 pounds, but he looked lean. Roy looks lean.
Yeah, I mean, Jawan Taylor was that. He was very lean.
He was lean. You're very good point. Well,
These guys sort of have that body.
They have that body. They didn't look like fat guys. They looked like big guys, whether that was by design or not, or whether that's more of what today's guys look like. But you clearly saw that. So I think that stood out to me today. It was fun watching the kicker because Cam Little, by all accounts, they want him to be the kicker.
Oh, yeah.
So you're watching him. Got a great leg. Hit some, missed some, but who knows? But it was fun watching the kicker. I tried to watch other positions, linebackers and backs. It's just hard because by rule, you can't cover each other. Right now, you can't have defensive backs trying to cover. You can't defend, real defend. So it's just drills against air, drills with no defender. So it's hard to watch.
I mean, there's only probably 40 guys out there,
something like that.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Hays, it had the feel to it. It had the feel. I like the way they looked in uniforms, albeit shells. By the way, Seth Williams is back for his first guy in league history that's made 47 straight rookie minicamps. How long has he been here?
It's amazing.
Seth Williams, he'll show up at a rookie minicamp on you now.
Yeah.
The former Auburn receiver, who I thought was so good at Auburn, by the way.
Right.
And has never really made it in the league, but he's back for yet another run at the rookie minicamp. But, watch the receivers. Liked what I saw from Landry. Really liked what I saw from Thomas. I liked the linemen. I liked the way they looked in uniform. I liked the vibe of it all. The kickoff thing looked really weird to me, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they go about it. So a lot of fun stuff to watch and some odd stuff as well. And we'll continue to update you. But you heard from Doug Peterson already. You've heard from Mason Smith already. You heard our assessment of day one. It's good to talk a little Jaguar football. I love talking stadium and all the good things that are happening, but it's fun to talk a little football.
Absolutely.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Hays has headlines for you. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your costs and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Oh, good morning. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Meow.
Doing their best to make every morning good. Or at least a little better.
Oh, now I see what you're saying.
Mornings on 1010XL.
That's good. That's good fun.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with the best prices and our wow-ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing, and free oil changes with every purchase. You better beat the surge and head to Beaver Toyota St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for the best car buying experience.
Picking here, May is Healthy Vision Month, folks, so it's time to put your eye health front and center. If you haven't had a comprehensive dilated eye exam in a while, now's the perfect time to schedule one with Bowden Eye. A comprehensive dilated eye exam is the best way to check for common eye problems, even if you haven't noticed any symptoms. Detect signs of eye diseases like glaucoma, diabetic eye disease, and age-related macular degeneration. Call or visit BowdenEye.com to schedule your consultation. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler for 47 years. And this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA certified diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design. And Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase. So get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
The Guardian calls it a comedy with a thrust of a well-tuned engine. Chicago Theater called it a whirlwind of mayhem, and the New York Times said it has no right to be this funny. The Alhambra Theater presents Boeing. Set in the 60s, tells the story of a ladies' man pilot and the 3 women who believe they are engaged to him. Sure to sell out? Get your tickets at alhambrajacks.com. alhambrajacks.com.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time homebuyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time homebuyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time homebuyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. That's 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
When you're hungry for midday sports talk, share a table with Helmets and Heels.
It's a bad idea to travel on an empty stomach.
Mia, Lauren, and Taylor. We like hungry.
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010 XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Attention golfing fans. Leon Searcy here. The Smoking Aces of Jacksonville are presenting my celebrity golf tournament at Queens Harbor Golf and Country Club June 14th. Tee time is at 9 a.m. Along with myself, we've got celebrity NFL, NBA, and former boxing champions who will be in attendance. Go to SmokingAcesJacksonville.com to register or become a sponsor. SmokingAcesJacksonville.com. The big fella will be there.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round! It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harold & Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Frank, you deserve some good headlines, and hopefully you will get them.
You know what? Because they were bad, I'd walk out. I'd walk right out of here.
That's
they were bad headlines. Right out of here.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie, JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon. Again, give our friends at Harold & Harold a call if you need them at 251-1111. All right, Frank, we're going to stick with the Jaguars. Doug Peterson non-committal today when asked about play calling.
Yeah, I think he said his answer was we don't play a game until September. I don't think that's as big a deal to him disseminating it publicly as it is everybody else. I think he and Press are going to build the game plan together. They're going to talk to Trevor about what makes the most sense, and then someone's going to push the buttons on game day. I think it's going to be Press Taylor. That's why I think he's pushing the buttons. But you're right, Doug Peterson in no hurry to talk about it. Why would he be?
First impression of Jarvis Landry, but if he was willing to pay for a fairly minimal contract, would you sign him to the 90-man?
In a minute, and I would hope that got him to the 53. I think you need veterans on the team. One of the things I'm most excited about with Mitch Morse and Eric Armstead is they've been around the league. They're veterans. They know what to expect. They know where the bodies are buried in this league, and I would love to see Jarvis Landry on the team.
I liked hearing the update on Tyler Lacey and Yasir Abdullah, how they're going to be used. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I don't think either one are ever going to be starters in the league. Tyler Lacey will continue to be a backup tackle, and he'll be in the rotation, a position you rotate a lot. They really hope Yasir Abdullah can be a sub-package pass rusher, a situational pass rusher. I think if they had the right edge guy, they'd love to move Trayvon Walker inside on passing downs and have Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen, and another edge guy rushing the passer. They hope Abdullah can be that.
Ventrell Miller, who missed his entire rookie year after being drafted in the 4th round out of Florida, not eligible for rookie minicamp. He would have been ideal for it, but because he was on IR, could not participate. But Doug Peterson gave a very favorable review of how Ventrell's doing in OTAs.
Yeah, Hayes, you asked the question, and it was a good one. How does he stand? I got a good feeling about him. I said it last year when everybody didn't like the fact that they drafted him because they already had Lloyd Muma and Aluak, and I did like it because I think when healthy, and that's the question, I think he can be a really good player. I think when healthy in a base formation, he will beat out Chad Muma and start at that spot. If it's Aluakan and Mike, Lloyd at Sam, and they got to find a weak side linebacker, I think if healthy, he will beat out Chad Muma for that spot.
We got our first glimpse of how at least the Jaguars are going to handle the new kickoff rule. Boy, there's a million ways you could do this, it looks like.
It's real funny looking. That's the thing that stands out. But, yeah, I think the Jags – remember now, a touchback comes way out now. So the last thing you want is a touchback.
Right.
Touchback's coming to the 35, I think it is. So that's the last thing you want. So I think you pooch punt and you find or pooch kick and find different ways to cover it. It's going to be very interesting.
It will be. Ethan Waugh was even talking about the assistant general manager met with reporters today and talked about how Cam Little can even do different kind of directional kickoffs, which is one of the reasons that they really liked him. So, again, that is going to be fascinating to see how that new rule progresses as we get closer. The Jaguars are going to hold 5 community events along with the city this month to discuss the stadium deal. The first is Wednesday at Mandarin High School from 6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Mark Lamping and Donna Deegan together a lot. I think from everything we've gained or gathered, the Jags and the city will together present to the city council on Tuesday. We know now that there will be a lot of give and take, a lot of questions. They'll reveal how much money it is. We're all given to think it's 1.4, somewhere thereabouts. It'll only be the stadium. What percentage that's the cities, what percentage is the Jags. And that'll be discussed in council on Tuesday night. And then I think beginning Wednesday, publicly, the Jags and the mayor together will answer all the questions they can. I think it's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Edge rusher Bud Dupree, the veteran, visiting teams, the Steelers, Chargers, and Falcons. Frank, would you like to see the Jaguars get involved?
I would. He's a guy that I would like to see here. I think what we learned last year from Kyle Van Noy and Jadeveon Clowney and others, You can sign these situational pass rushers even when they're long in the tooth, Hayes, if you're not asking too many plays. 15, 20 plays a game, 25 plays a game. I'd love to see Bud Dupree here. I think he would really help the cause.
Zay Jones has a job, signs with the Arizona Cardinals. Do you like that move?
I do like it. I think he's a veteran. Marvin Harrison Jr. is there. That's a young player that I think Zay can have a positive effect on. I like that he's going to play. I hope he's in the first three. He's one of the good guys in the league, and I hope good things happen for him. And because he's in an NFC team, I can root like crazy for him, and I will.
Absolutely. And it's good for Marvin Harrison Jr. to have that veteran presence to help guide him. JJ, what happened to the Celtics last night? Romped by Cleveland.
I didn't watch it. I was at work, so I'm not sure. I know they got their ass kicked.
What'd you think of the Mavericks tying the series up?
I thought Luka looked a lot healthier than in Game 1, and like I said, I like Dallas to win the series. Now I really like it.
Let me tell you the real news there. After Luka went off, JJ went and found the Luka shirt. Did you know? You always got the Luka shirt on, don't you?
Right.
He went in the hamper. He's right at the bottom. He dug in the bottom of that hamper, kind of moved all the socks and the towels out of the way, grabbed the Luka jersey and wore it in. Is that what happened, JJ? I mean, it was a celebratory moment, I think.
Luka was had his Schilling moment last night with a bloody sock.
Yes, he did.
I don't know if you noticed that. He had a bloody knee.
And I watched the first game, by the way. The Celtics couldn't make anything. The Cavs really defended them. I want to say there were 7 of 39 or something from three-point range.
Wow.
They just couldn't make. And the Cavs' defending is becoming the theme of this series, this playoffs, I really believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't watch any of the Celtics game. I did watch a pretty good bit of the Mavericks win over OKC, and we've got a couple big game threes tonight. The Nuggets and Pacers trying to avoid a 0-3 hole. What do you guys think happens tonight?
What a big game, JJ, for the Nuggets. I mean, this is the defending champions. They got to hold the trophy 1 year. There was a lot of people that thought a little Spurs-like run was coming. Now all of a sudden their back couldn't be more flush against the wall, right?
I wonder if Gobert's playing. I haven't really seen anything about that.
Yeah, I think they expect him to be back.
Yeah, I like the Nuggets to win.
I do too. I think the Nuggets win tonight. I don't know if they come all the way back, but I bet they win tonight.
I was surprised the Nuggets are a 3.5-point underdog.
At
so
home. Wow.
to get the Nuggets
on the road.
Wow. To get the Nuggets and 3.5 points, kind of enticing there. Frank, can you give me a Gators baseball update as they play for their lives against Kentucky?
This is a big one. They're playing the number 2 team, or now they say number 4 team in the country in Kentucky, who's really good, 18-8 in the league. Gators up 5-1 after 4. So they had a 3-run home run from Shelton, the shortstop, and a gigantic game. Again, Florida's only chance now to get in my opinion, is to win 2 out of 3 in these last 2 series, both against ranked teams. Kentucky, a very highly ranked team, the last series in Gainesville. Win 2 out of 3 here, and then go win 2 out of 3 in Athens. That gets you to 14 wins in the SEC. I can't imagine that 14 SEC wins doesn't get you in, even without doing much in Hoover at the SEC tournament. So this is a big game and part of a big series for the Gators.
All right, I've got a movie review for you.
I can't. I love reviews.
Okay, so I watched Unfrosted last night on Netflix. It's the new Jerry Seinfeld comedy. I mentioned it a few weeks ago on Headlines. So I watched it last night, and I'd heard bad things about it. It's been out for about 5 or 6 days, probably about a week now. So I had low expectations. But I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I expected nothing from it, and it gave me 4 or 5 good laughs, which is a good number for comedy today. It's also cameo-filled, and several of them hit, which adds a fun element. So if you're looking for something very light, a 90-minute comedy fest, I think you'll enjoy Unfrosted.
Is it based on the TV show?
It's based on the plot is basically 2 warring breakfast companies are trying to master the Pop-Tart.
Okay.
Is basically it. And so it's a movie. It's a 90-minute comedy.
Okay, okay. You know what? I will. Nothing Seinfeld is bad.
Yeah.
And I will look forward to just checking it out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So and like I said, I thought it was gonna be poor, so I was pleasantly surprised. So give it a look. We're gonna get out of here today with wishing a very special happy birthday to Bono. The U2 frontman turned 64 today. Born Paul Hewson. He was 16 when U2 was formed in 1976.
I would say, regarded by many, the greatest rock band of all time that didn't come into prominence before 1980. Okay.
Yeah, I think that.
If you say, because they did
Post 1980.
Yeah, post 1980 of prominence.
Right.
If you didn't come into prominence till after 80.
Switchfoot.
Greatest band. You agree with that?
I would agree with that, and I don't think it's particularly close. I mean, I think from a
if
popularity
that's the parameter,
standpoint, if that's the line that you're going to start from, I think they almost don't have a peer in terms of that.
I would agree with that. The great U2. Great job on headlines as always. Pete Prisco waits on the other side. More NFL talk coming up. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
When you want action.
Jacksonville on the move here. First drive of the game.
It's 1010XL.
If you're a Jags fan, you better get your popcorn ready because this guy's something.
Where the action is. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hays Carlyon. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide. Cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using 1010XL as a promo code when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today. Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Hold on tight because All Pro Roofing is unleashing some electrifying news. Brace yourselves for instant excitement. Instant roof quotes are here. Simply surf over to their website and hit the Instant Roof Quote tab. Boom! That's your ticket to a lightning-fast estimate. Head over to allproroofingllc.com. Click that Instant Roof Quote tab. What are you waiting for? Click on the Instant Roof Quote tab today at allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
The latest in innovative imaging technology is at Ackerman Cancer Center. With total body MRI, PET, and CT scans, plus 3D mammography, offers unparalleled precision in cancer detection. Schedule your screening now at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Jaguars' second-round pick, Mason Smith out of LSU, joined Hays Carlyon earlier today and spoke about his experience at rookie minicamp.
It's been fun, man, just being able to critique, one of these things that I wanted to have and wanted to endure coming through this process, man, is just being able to have real coaching and be able to take that constructive criticism and, take my game to the next level, man. So just being able to come out here, doing some things good, but also doing some things, not so good and messing up, and being able to take that constructive criticism, man, and, progressing every rep. That's what it's all about for me.
Mason Smith with Hays Carlyon. It's 84 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
And we thank our friends from Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Hey, they're starting the Collectibles Collectors Club right now. Annual membership for kids 5 to 17. You get 3 packs of cards at sign-up, personalized Showtime Club Binder, 2 free packs of cards during your birthday month, and members receive 10% off supplies year-round. It's a brand-new Collectibles Collectors Club for kids age 5 to 17. What a great thing they're doing at Showtime. Showtime's located on Phillips Highway at the end of Shad Road. Pete Prisco joins us from CBSSports.com. Pete, how was vacay, bro? Have a good time?
That was great. It was so relaxing. Went to Atlantis and the Bahamas. We liked going over this quick and had a great time. By the way, Collectibles Collectors. You say that well quickly. I like that. Keep saying that over and over again.
I will. No, I think I'm good for now. That's exactly right. Hey, Pete, we saw a minicamp on the field today for the first time with the team on the field. You can't tell much at minicamp. I'll tell you 2 things, though. Number one, Brian Thomas really looks the part, dude. And I know a lot of people can look the part with no defense and throwing on air. I get it. But he is a twitchy cat, man. For 6'4" or so and 210, he is a quick-looking guy. When the big guys look quick and change directions, that's a good thing. And the other thing I thought today, Pete, is that the big guys, and they got so many of them, weren't fat guys. You know what I mean? They were long, lean. They looked the part. So I don't know what you've heard from people that were there today, but I was impressed with what I saw.
Well, you know how I feel about Brian Thomas. I love the kid. I think that's exactly what they needed. A big play receiver is going to be around for a long time and can develop into that number one guy that they haven't had. The true number one, the Jamar Chase, the Justin Jefferson, he can be that guy. And in talking to people, I've told you this before, talking to people at LSU, the pilot light went on for him last year. And he became a different guy in terms of the work ethic and everything he did. And I think that translated to what he did on the field. I think he can be special. I also like, the big defensive tackle from LSU. And he went there as a hotshot recruit, big power player, got hurt the knee. With the tape last year, when you watch the tape in the first part of the season, he was clearly favoring the leg. And then the second half of the season, it came back. And he started becoming the same type of player he was before the injury. And that's first-round talent right there. I think he could be a force in the middle of their defense. So I really do think that those 2 guys are going to be impact players.
Pete, we thought Jarvis Landry looked good today. Would that be a signing that you'd like to see the Jaguars make?
Well, it would be from this standpoint. Jarvis Landry might be one of the best guys to be around in the NFL in terms of what he would mean to a lot of the younger players. He's a great guy. He's a competitor. He's fun. He will help the young guys. I don't know if he can run, and he was never a fast burner to begin with, but he's a smart guy. So I would, how did he look out there? I'm just curious.
I thought he looked good.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
effortless catching the football, and looked like his wheels were good.
Yeah, I'd bring him back. I'd bring him in. I would keep him around. I think he's that kind of guy. Can rub off on a lot of young receivers.
Pete, as we get now to we are now past the player procurement phase. There may be some guys that straggle in. Bud Dupree's going to sign somewhere. I'd like it to be here, by the way. If they're interested. But there's going to be a little bit of that here and there. But for the most part, the hay is in the barn. What's the general consensus about the Jaguars and among all the NFL people with whom you speak? Because I think they got a pretty good team. I know I thought that last year, too. They've had back-to-back 9-win seasons. They're going to be better this year. They've had a good offseason. But I'm biased. What's the opinion around with your NFL buddies about the Jags?
That they're not the Texans, and again, we got to be careful with that. And I was guilty as anybody last year. Nobody in the division was the Jaguars, but we saw how that played out.
Right.
They weren't ready for it. And so the Texans have to handle the same thing that Jacksonville had problems with a year ago, which was handling the success. And until you can handle it, you're not going to be that dominant team. So, and now they're the hunted team. They're not going to sneak up on anybody. So, yeah, but for the most part, everybody looks at it as the Texans are the class of the division, and then the three other teams will push for the playoffs and maybe push them to win the division. But the Texans are the trendy, chic team now. But I tend to agree with you. I think Jacksonville, they were bad at the end of last season. They had injuries all over the place. The quarterback was banged up. And like you said, they still won 9 games. And it was not a good season. They won 9 games, and it was not a good season. Because at one point, you took the field as the number 1 seed in the AFC, and it collapsed on. So I think from that standpoint, I think there's still a lot of talent. I think they've had a good offseason. I think they had a good draft. And I think Trevor Lawrence, getting back healthy with protection in front of him, first and foremost, will be a much better player this time around. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think they're going to be a better football team.
And I'll say this, a final part to what you said, because I've heard the same stuff, that the Texans and then everybody else. The Texans finished 1 game ahead of the Jaguars last year. If they had finished with the same record, the Jaguars were going to win the division. They split when they played each other. The Jaguars got banged up at the end of the season when they were 8-3 and the injuries started to happen. So I guess Pete, I'm surprised, and I know we all love the Vogue fad team, and the Jags were that a year ago. I agree with you, but I'm surprised so many people see the gap between them, because if you look at the numbers, that's not what it suggests. I guess that's my point.
And you know what, too, though, Frank? I don't think there's that much of a gap between any of the four.
I agree with that.
To be honest with you.
I hear you.
I mean, and you know how I feel about Will Levis, but they've had a great offseason. You add L'Jarius Sneed, you fix the offensive line, you get Ridley. I mean, they've improved by ton on that side of the ball, and I'm a big Will Levis guy. Then you go to the Colts. They drafted the pass rusher. If Latu can rush the passer, he's going to be another nice addition to that defense. And Gus Bradley, we know he can scheme up a defense. And then you go to the other side of the ball, you get your quarterback back. So I think the division is going to be tough for anybody to come out of it and win it. And every week when you play a division opponent, it's going to be a tough game no matter where it is.
When do you think we're going to have the 18-game schedule?
2 years probably. I don't think it'll happen next year. They won't do it, but it's coming. And, Roger Goodell keeps putting it out there, and I've heard it for years. You guys have heard it for years. Get rid of one more preseason game and just go to the 18-game schedule. And ultimately, players will push back on it. They'll complain. They'll give them more time off at some point, which I don't think is a good thing, by the way. I think that's not it's something that hurts the game, but in terms of giving them more time off. But they'll get more money. And ultimately, in the end, that's the most important thing. So I do think it's coming probably not next year, the year after that.
You say you don't like more time off, meaning you don't like the second bye, or you don't like more time off in the offseason?
In the offseason.
Okay.
I think, and look, I know it used to be that way, but guys they're trained year round now. Yeah. And so I don't like, say you don't have your OTA days. You're going to see, guys aren't taught to do things anymore. It's all install. The techniques are gone. And that's why we see all the struggles in the NFL now with the offensive line play. Install means you're not learning what you're supposed to do. Then they go to these things in the off season. Charles Bentley used to have one. Duke has one, and then they get taught their technique, and then they come back and the coaches go, "No, that's not the way we want it to be done. We want it to be done this way," and so you have problems that way. So I think from that standpoint, I think that they need to be around their coaches, because I think the coaches need to teach what they need them to do, not what somebody else needs them to do.
Pete, I'm intrigued by Las Vegas and their quarterback situation. They signed Gardner Minshew. They have Aiden O'Connell going into his second year. And Antonio Pierce says Aiden O'Connell is going to get the first crack to be the starter, which surprised me. I thought it would and should be Minshew.
No, but O'Connell was the quarterback last year. And so I think that's usually what teams do. If you're here, you're the guy, you get the first shot. And by the way, I'm not sure Minshew's going to beat him out. I mean, everybody loves Minshew, and he won some games last year. But in big moments, and we've seen it in Jacksonville, you've seen it all around. He puts up nice stats, and then at times he wilts in the big moment and doesn't make the plays. For every good one he makes, he gives you one. So I think that's going to be a legitimate quarterback competition. And, it's not a great situation for whoever it is there. I mean, they wanted to go up and get a quarterback in the draft. They couldn't do it, so now they're stuck with what they have.
I hope, by the way, the schedule comes out next week. I'm among those that hope the Jags get to play in Detroit. I just think that they're the only team in the league that's never played on New Year. I mean, they're going to get to play in Detroit. I mean, I'm hopeful that they get to play on Thanksgiving Day. Pete, yeah, and I know that rumor's floating around because it's floating around because they've never done it before, and they do play at the road at Detroit. You have an opinion on that? Do you think it's better, worse for the team? Do you care? Do you think they should? What do you think?
I mean, it'd be great to give them some exposure on Thanksgiving, but sometimes that can be a positive and a negative. You go there and you lose on Thanksgiving Day, and that's a good football team. You lose there on Thanksgiving Day, and then all of a sudden you say, "Oh, wait a second, we got 10 days to stew on it now." Sometimes I think it'd be great for the team in terms of the exposure for sure, and it'd be great to but yeah, since it's never happened, I think it would be fantastic. But that's a tough game against the Lions in their place anyway. It's a really tough game on Thanksgiving. I mean, that place I don't know if you guys have. I've been there on Thanksgiving. That place is rocking.
Well, that was kind of my second question. You said it before I had to ask it. I wonder what it'd be like. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool to wake up in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day when everybody's excited about football. Yeah, and look, we're always excited about football anyway. But is it as crazy as you would imagine? I would think it'd be a great day for football.
Yeah, and I've done it a couple times when I used to go to games and really enjoyed it. I mean, because it's an early game, you get there, and everybody they go to the game and then they do Thanksgiving dinner after. So it's like it's like the warm up to their go home and eat Thanksgiving dinner, and it's just got a great feel to it. And yeah, it's if you haven't experienced it, it's a great thing. And I think from that standpoint, for you guys, I hope you do get to experience it.
What'd you think about the Tom Brady roast?
Fantastic. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I thought, the jokes, yeah, sure, they pushed the envelope, but that's what comedy's supposed to be. I thought he handled himself well. They were told Bob Kraft was off limits, and that's why he got mad at Jeff Ross for making a joke. But Bob Kraft wasn't part of the roast. He was just there. That's why they put him off limits. If he had been one of the roasters and been part of it, it would have been okay. That's why Brady got mad. I thought Belichick and Kraft looked very uncomfortable together, and you could see that Belichick was just angry as hell about it. So it was well done. I would like to see him do a roast of Charles Barkley. That would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. I love comedy. You guys know me, Frank. You know me for years. I push the envelope when it comes to comedy, even my own. So I love that. I thought it was fantastic.
Pete, what happened between Kraft and Belichick? Well, why just because Kraft didn't want to bring him back? What happened?
Well, I mean, first off, Kraft loves Tom Brady.
Right.
Loves him. So there was always there were times where Belichick, didn't think Brady could do it anymore.
I remember. And we talked about that.
And so that led to a lot of problems between the two of them. I think the roster building became a problem. If you go back and look at his drafts, they became an issue, and he was never going to give up the power. And so Kraft probably always wanted him to bring in a personnel guy, and he pushed back on it. That's another issue. And look, it's not warm and fuzzy with Brady and Belichick either, because, he left. He didn't want him. He went to Tampa. And I think from that standpoint, that's a little frosty as well. You can see that a little bit. So when egos get in the way all the time, the NFL is loaded with giant egos. For a while, they can work together. When you have success and success starts to happen, then the egos start to get in the way. And it's sad because so many teams have been undone by that. And, you go back to Jimmy and Jerry back in the Cowboys days, those egos. I mean, it just undid that team. And they would have won a couple more if Jimmy and Jerry didn't have their little spat. So I think that's something to be careful of when you're an NFL team. Owner, coach, GM, you got to keep the ego in check.
How good is Anthony Edwards?
My God. And I watch a lot of NBA, but he's even elevated his game to the next level in these playoffs. I mean, you guys saw him at Georgia. You know what he is? He's the perfect example of a guy who, like Russell Westbrook at UCLA, had all the tools to be a great NBA player, but you didn't always see it in college.
Right.
But the scouts saw it, the NBA people who translate those skills to the next level saw it, and that's what he is. And my God, did you see his quote today? they asked him about being the next Jordan because he's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
To be the next Jordan, and he said, "Well, I like to be me." He goes, Michael, I have, but I can shoot. I could shoot the three. Michael couldn't shoot like he can shoot back in the day when he first came. When Michael Jordan first came into, Frank will remember that when he first came in the league, he couldn't shoot.
He became a great shooter, but he
But
wasn't.
not like this kid is now in his age and his depth. Remember how deep this kid can shoot deep too. That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing that's changed the most in the league, Pete, is that it doesn't matter how far you back up that 3-point line, they can make it. I mean, when the 3-point line came into being, it was almost like the college line for a while. That thing now is deep, 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 deep. I think that's the biggest thing. Are you watching more NBA, or you're a hockey guy now? Pete, the hockey guy.
Tonight, I flick. I'm a mad flicker, but tonight is Game 3 in Beantown against the Bruins. Come on, they beat them 6-1 the other night and beat the daylights out of them. We got fights all over the place. It's going to be a war, and Keith Kachuk. Matthew Kachuk is going to get all over those guys tonight. Come on, it's hockey night. It's hockey night.
This guy's excited. Listen, you can ask him all your little NBA questions all you want. This guy wants to talk puck is what he wants to do. Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com. Pete, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week. Take care, buddy.
You got it. Take care, guys.
Pete Prisco talking NFL and more. It is brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Once again, the Great Collectors Club, ages 5 to 17. It's really a good deal, man. 3 packs of cards at sign-up. You get a personalized Showtime Club binder, 2 free packs of cards during your birthday month, and members receive 10% off supplies year-round. I bet Jackson Carlyon loves that deal.
Oh, yeah.
He loves going in there, right?
Oh, we both do. It's fantastic. We love it. We go in there a few times every few months, and it's amazing all the stuff they have in there. So if you're a collector, you got to go there.
All right, let's kind of reset it from the start of the program. The Jags on the field today. I'm going to get to the stadium stuff in just a bit, Pete. But before we do, let's go, Pete. Hays, reset a little bit your thoughts from day one at the minicamp.
Yeah, I thought it was a good day. I mean, look, we've been at rookie minicamps before where the first-round pick has torn his ACL. You always
very good point.
You always think
that was not a good day.
That was not a good day.
We were at the Players, by the way.
We were at the Players,
yeah.
yep. And Dante Fowler Jr. About 15 minutes in, tore his ACL. So everybody was healthy. It's great to see. Brian Thomas certainly looked, very comfortable out there. I do think they should sign Jarvis Landry if depending on what he's looking for. But if he's looking for a minimal deal, which I would think he is at 31. I was impressed with how he caught the ball today, and I thought Doug Peterson had some really good stuff to talk about. It was good hearing that guys like Ventrell Miller, Cooper Hodges, Christian Braswell that were injured last year. He's pleased with the progress that they've made in OTAs, and I thought it was interesting hearing what the new roles are going to be like for Tyler Lacey and Yasir Abdullah, 2 guys that are entering their second year. That I think were drafted for one scheme, and now you're switching to another scheme. But it seems like their skill set is still going to have a home with how Ryan Nielsen likes to go about it. So yeah, I thought a good day, and we'll certainly look forward to being out there in about another week or so when we get to see the first OTA with the veterans as well.
Yeah, and just about everybody will be there, I would think. There's always 1 or 2 that may have their reasons for not coming, but for the most part, I think you'll see the whole team together, and that part will be fun. It'll be fun to see from a personnel standpoint who lines up where. My guess would be, we just had this conversation about the Bears and Matt Eberflus earlier. He said, hey, Caleb Williams, our quarterback. I would imagine day one, and again, Gabe Davis has a knee, by the way, so he may not be able to go, but assuming Gabe Davis is healthy enough to go, I would say Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, and Brian Thomas Jr. are the receivers that run with the ones right out of the gate, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely. I'd be really surprised if that's not what it looks like.
Yeah, because who else would it be?
That's the thing.
I mean, if Zay was still here.
Duvernay out there?
Correct. If Zay Jones was still here, you could make the argument that, okay, let the veterans start together until the rookie earns it. Whether you like that or not, teams do that. But with Zay not here, I can't think of anybody else that even could be. It's not going to be Parker Washington or Elijah Cooks. So who else could be the third starting receiver? There's nobody really.
I would agree. I think it's going to be Brian Thomas, and Mason Smith will be interesting to see how he works in. Obviously, we know he's not going to be a starter, but how soon do you see him when they do the rotations and so forth, and who is he playing, which group is he playing with. So it's going to be a lot of fun when we see the rookies and the vets mingled in together.
All right, some other NFL stuff we'll talk about. It looks like Netflix is going to get the Christmas doubleheader.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think it's fine. I mean, it's another obviously revenue source for the league, and so it's good. The cap will go up a little bit, which will help. And so it's just the way of the world. I mean, I think the NFL wants to have a partnership with every media giant entity, and Netflix has certainly become that. They already have the deal with Amazon, so they've already entered into the streaming world. So it makes sense. Netflix is gigantic, so it makes sense that the NFL would want to carve out a piece of their real estate to sell at a unbelievably high price to Netflix.
How close are we, in your opinion? JJ, jump in here as well. How close do you guys think we are to a streaming service having the predominant share of a major sport? I'll preface it with this: when ESPN got the college football playoff, it was only a few years ago, but that was a big deal because ESPN is paid also. By the way, you can't have ESPN for free, and ESPN became the first pay service to get a major event like the college football playoff, which it has now. It's not on ABC; it's on ESPN. So with that as a bit of a backdrop, how soon before one of the streaming services has something like that?
I'll say it happens within the next decade.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But not the NFL. I think with CBS and Fox, like, they have a stranglehold. They even when a game is streaming, like, let's say the Jags stream on Netflix for the Christmas game, it still has to be legally aired on the local TV station. That's like a huge thing, that local TV market.
Right.
So, no, I don't think the NFL will go to just full streaming in the next 10 years, but I could see like the NBA for sure.
Yeah, and good. And you made a good point. Even when ESPN has a game, locally it's got to be over the air. That's a great point because that's just one of the rules. So I agree with you. But I wonder, see, Netflix is the king of the streaming. You can have all the Amazon Primes and Hulus and whatever all the other ones are called you want, but Netflix is the king. So when Netflix gets into your game, that's a game changer.
I'm shocked it took them so long to get sports. I mean, they just aired the Tom Brady roast, but they don't really do too many live things. I think they've done a few concerts, right?
It feels like they were always reluctant to
get in,
sort of be the first to do that, and now they've sort of been dragged into it because Amazon's been so bold with having the NFL
and Peacock.
Like, Netflix is going to have this will be a live event that I have to think is going to do really good numbers, but they're going to have the Tyson fight.
Oh yeah,
so that'll be a good entry point for them.
When is that, by the way?
July 15th, maybe, I think, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's time for Netflix to enter into it, and I mean, I'm sure the Tom Brady roast did big numbers, and I didn't have any issue watching it, so it seems like it's time now, and Netflix, as we've talked about, is such a behemoth that
July 20th, by the way,
July 20th,
Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Logan Paul.
And if
Les
you guys
Paul.
want, we can go to AT&T Stadium, and apparently there's a $2 million VIP package. So if we all,
put me down for
throw a couple bucks in.
That's all?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be expensive. We'll take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the stadium. Is that expensive? I think by 3 days from now, we'll all have a better idea. All the word you hear is that the mayor's office and the Jags will together present to the city council, I think it's now kind of been confirmed, the deal that both the city and the Jags have agreed to. We'll discuss that in a bit. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Jacksonville's home for Florida Gators baseball.
The Gators get a weekend series with a top 5 team. Florida, Kentucky. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday at noon on 10:10 a.m.
For Military Appreciation Month, the folks at Nimnik Buick GMC paused to honor and express their deepest gratitude to the brave service members and their families who sacrificed so much for our country. I'm Frank Frangie, and your unwavering dedication and sacrifice inspire us every day. And as a token of the appreciation of the folks at Nimnik, they're extending a special offer, $1,000 total cash allowance to all military personnel and their families on select new vehicles. A small gesture compared to the immense gratitude we hold for your service. So thanks for everything you do. And remember, at Nimnik Buick GMC, it's time for Bravo Rama. Find your next used vehicle at Car Bravo, a better way to shop certified used vehicles online with transparent pricing. That's one of the many good things you get from our friends at Nimnik Buick GMC. It's Military Appreciation Month, and the folks at Nimnik say thank you. That's Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. We are professional grade GMC.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue is celebrating 75 years of serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast. And right now, get to Bono's for the new loaded barbecue tater tots. That's smoked pulled pork on top of tater tots with melted cheddar cheese sauce. You won't find this anywhere else. 18 Bono's around town. There's always one nearby, and you can see all the locations at bonosbarbecue.com. Remember, the Bono's Barbecue Tater Tots right now at Bono's. And if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
All Jags, all NFL.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Everything you need to know about your hometown team. Jaguars Today, every weekday from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Hey, Glenn here with B&B Oil with Dylan from March Motor. Hey, Dylan, how does B&B Oil help you guys at the dealership?
If you have a dealership and don't want to worry about the hassle of credit cards or fuel vouchers floating around, have B&B Oil put a tank on your lot. It allows us to control who gets fuel and cuts out the worries of credit cards. And it helps us deliver the car faster. B&B Oil also meets our shop needs with lubricants as well. Call Glenn or check out the website, bb-oil.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-743-9288. 800-743-9288. 800-743-9288.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Doors, please. Time now for the Sky Life Elite Take Flight Moment of the Week. Sky Life Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Gafford's pass too high for Hardaway. 1 to shoot. Hardaway has time, and he hits a three. What a big shot. A huge night for Hardaway. And the lead back to 11.
That was the dagger. That absolutely sealed it. Hardaway's three with 2:24 left made it 117-106. A fantastic bucket. And, boy, the NBA playoffs have been so fun to watch so far. And I'm excited to watch Anthony Edwards tonight. And that is our Take Flight Moment of the Week. Again, give our friends at Sky Life Elite a call at 490-9332. You can also find them at flyskylife.com.
Yeah, we've told you too now, and I'll stand by this. You can afford to fly a charter flight. Years ago, nobody would have ever believed that. But I can tell you, I know a lot of people that do this. They call Sky Life. So call Sky Life Elite. What do you got to lose by giving them a call?
Right.
Give them a call and see if you can. If you're taking a trip with your buddy, a little golf trip with your buddies, up to Whistling, you go wherever you're going. Call these guys. You'll be glad you did. So you're exactly right about that.
Yeah, and the Jag schedule will be out soon. And if you're making your
that's right.
Plans for a road game, definitely consider them. Particularly again, if you're going with 6-8 people, look into it.
Yeah. You really, and it really is. It's not just an ad line. It's the truth. You really should. So it's 5:30 on Friday. In let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days from now, we are going to have, by now, from everything you hear, most of the parties have confirmed that the city and the Jaguars, in unison, Hays, will be in the middle of presenting their plan to the Jacksonville City Council. You've heard us talk about it so much now, not just us, everybody talk about it, that you know by now the deal. So let me clear it up for not the numbers. They'll release the numbers on Tuesday, but you know the infrastructure or the modus operandi, if you will, that this has got to take. First, the Jags and the administration had to agree on a deal. That is now, from everything you hear, been done. Together, those two groups will present to the city council the plan to include costs, details, and the like. Then the city council will spend no less than or no fewer than 60 days to decide or to take a vote. So as early as July 10th, and I want to say that Tuesday might be July 14th, somewhere thereabouts, but that's not correct. July 13th is a Saturday, so 14th, 15th, July 16th. As early as July 16th at a city council meeting, the city council can vote whether or not to agree with the deal. I think you're going to see a deal. We don't know the numbers. What we have been told, though, Hays, is it will not include the surrounding area. Remember, the original plan, the Jaguars wanted a deal that we believed would be roughly $2 billion and would include the surrounding areas. But they acquiesced to not including that, and everything you hear now is it's just a stadium. The numbers you hear are $1.4 billion, and there's some sort of a relatively even split between the two entities. That could mean $700 million from the city. It could mean $700 million from the Jags. My guess is that won't be exactly it, because I'm not sure the league would approve that.
Right.
I think for the league to approve it, I think there's a general belief that the government dollars have to be more than the league or the team dollars. So does that mean it's 800, 600, 750, 650? Wherever it lands, I think you're going to wind up seeing those numbers come out. And then I think there might be, I don't want to say side deals. Side deals is probably the wrong phrase, but I think there will be some details that go with it that we don't know right now. Some details on how it's funded, some details on maybe some extra funding that will help other entities, And I think you'll see all that come out on Tuesday, and I'm very excited to see all that come forward.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be well received. I think they have really gone through a painstaking process. And again, I think they've done it in a fantastically cooperative, professional manner.
Agreed.
And I don't expect there to be really any significant potholes with this deal getting affirmed by the council and then by the NFL owners. And, I obviously there's still steps and I'm not going to sit here and say guarantee, but it sure feels good right now in terms of the momentum. And again, I think they've done everything that they needed to do to get to this point. And again, it's not like the council hasn't been, they're not going to be blindsided by what's in here. I mean, they've got to have some idea. Obviously the Jaguars, the mayor's office, they're having conversations. So I would expect that it's going to be a very positive week for Jacksonville.
Yeah, there will be a lot of discussion. Tuesday night will be a lot of discussion. I'm not naive to suggest there won't be pushback from some members of the council. There will be. There always is. There's 19 people. When you have 19 people that have to agree on something, they rarely do. So there will be pushback, there will be questions, there will be debate. But I do believe this, and again, we'll talk more about this at the first part of the week, and again, it happens on Tuesday. But I do believe that the JAG/administration, the group that is now in favor of this, together, have to have anticipated most of the questions they're going to get. They've worked on this for so long, for years and years, the Jags have. For well over a year, the Jags and the administration have. I think at this point, they've all had the discussion enough that they have to have gone through, all right, this is going to be one objection. This is going to be another objection. This question's going to get asked. This question's going to get asked. They're going to say, yeah, but what about A and B are good, but what about C? Hey, have you considered DEF? I have to believe by now that I'm not saying they've role-played it. I don't know that they've done their mock draft, if you will, but I've got to believe Mark Lamping, as sharp as he is, one of the smartest people I've ever known. I mean that sincerely. And Donna Deegan and her team, Mike Weinstein, are very smart people. I've got to believe that group has prepared itself for all the questions they're going to get. So much so that beginning next week, they're going to take it to the public and take on those questions. So I'll say this. The wrong thing to do would be have a public referendum, because public referendums for something of the arts is never going to pass. We've had that talk 1,000 times. But the next best thing, which I think is smart, is go to the public and answer questions. I thought Lamping was brilliant in that, in the 21 or however many they did. Now there's going to be 5 more, mostly at local high schools all over town. Show up and ask the questions. So the chronology is the city and the Jags present together to the city council on Tuesday, beginning at 5 o'clock. That's step one. And the council asks the questions they ask. That's step one. Step two is the city goes to take it to the public. The city and the Jags together do their barnstorming tour, if you will, taking it to the public for the purpose of the public reaching out to the council. Remember, the council has been voting for 2 months. So most good councilmen will certainly at least listen to their constituents to see what they think. Well, those constituents, hopefully, will all wind up showing up at these meetings. And I think that's the plan. I think it's a rock-solid plan. I think it's going to come in at $1.4 billion. I think it's going to be a state-of-the-art stadium that will wow people, and I think it's going to get done. But I'm not naive enough to suggest there's not going to be some pushback in the council, because there always is.
Yeah, and like you've mentioned before, they need 10 votes, correct?
They need 10. They need a simple majority, not a supermajority.
Right. So, I mean, in looking at it, there can be some dissension, and the plan is still going to be fine. So, but I agree with you. I commend the way they've handled it. They're going to have the first one's Wednesday at Mandarin High School from 6 to 8 p.m. They're doing one the following day in Northside, then May 20th at the beaches, May 29th in the South Side area, and then May 30th in the West Side area. So, if this is something that you want to go and learn more about, you certainly can. And transparency is so key. And that's been the biggest lesson that I think they've learned. And, and on the city side of things, they've it's not just them. I mean, they have firms helping them with this negotiation process. So there's a lot of experience on both sides making sure that everybody mutually benefits and the city is able to continue its growth over the next quarter century, with the new stadium being the heart of that growth.
Yeah, and I am so excited about where I think all of it's going. I'm excited about this. Again,
it's going to be fantastic.
Even after it gets approved, and I think it will. I think it'll pass city council, which is going to happen in a couple of weeks. And then in a couple of months. And then I think the owners will approve it in October. Even then, it's not a fast process. They're not even going to break ground for 2 years because there's 2 years left on the existing contract. They're going to break ground in 2026, and that season will be played, and we'll learn more Tuesday, but in all likelihood, that season will be played in a stadium that's sort of broken up a little bit. Will hold 40,000 or so. And then the 27 season, if all expectations come, if it comes out the way we expect it to, that season will be played somewhere out of town. I'm going to guess Gainesville, but I really don't know. And then they'll launch the stadium in 2028. So exciting stuff coming up, no question. Before we break, by the way, I just watched a bizarre play in this Florida-Kentucky game.
Okay.
So Florida desperately trying to get in the tournament. They're playing the number 4 ranked team in the country that was ranked second last week. They're playing Kentucky at home, a 3-game set. This is game 1. Florida was up 5-1. Kentucky got it to 5-3 in the 7th, and here comes the pain. First and second, nobody out. And this is how Florida's collapsed in so many games. They go to Brandon Neely, who's once again their closer, and I'm like, oh, boy. Kentucky inexplicably tries a delay steal. Florida throws the guy out at third, and he gets caught in a rundown, tags him. The guy on first starts for second, then races back to first. They fire to first, tag him.
Wow.
They get a double play on an attempted double steal and then get out of the inning. If Florida makes the NCAA tournament, that moment I just talked about would be what helped get them there.
Remember that one.
Remember that one. We'll see what happens. One segment to go. We'll have it for you after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NASCAR Cup Series will be racing Sunday at Darlington. It's the Goodyear 400, and Kyle Larson is the betting favorite to take the checkered flag. Larson is at plus 400, while Denny Hamlin is at plus 450. Martin Truex Jr. is plus 650. Tyler Reddick plus 750. William Byron, who won last year's race at Darlington, is plus 800. Christopher Bell is at plus 1,000. The Xfinity Series will be racing Saturday at Darlington. The Crown Royal Purple Bag 200. William Byron is the betting favorite to win that race. He is at plus 280. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
Are you having constant issues with drains backing up? Have you wasted money on plumbers that can't resolve your problems? We're Duck Rooter, and we have the solution. We'll come out to your home or business, identify your problem, and make the repairs once and for all. From visual camera inspections, hydrojetting, line replacements, our team of pros will get the job done right. Call now to schedule service and relax. 904-862-6769. Financing is available. DuckRooter.com, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new Walk-Off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Duval! Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daly's Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daly's Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back on the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Calling all poker enthusiasts. Poker Atlas Tour is bringing 7 action-packed poker events to Best Bet St. Augustine, June 6th to 16th, including the $600 no-limit hold'em title event with a $200,000 guarantee. Plus, don't miss Event 1, a $300 no-limit hold'em tournament featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites happening now at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Parents, now is the time to sign up your kids for the best basketball camp in the 904. Tommy Houlihan's basketball camp in Jax Beach. 2 sessions now open and ready for registration. 1 week in June, 1 week in July. Tommy Houlihan also has an all-sports camp as well. Grades K through 6 are allowed, and camp runs all day with extended hours available. Keep your kids active this summer with Tommy Houlihan basketball programs and all-sports camps. Register today at TommyHoulihanBasketball.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being selfless. So often when we do things for others, we can want people to see what we're doing and to acknowledge it. And yes, it's good to know that people appreciate us, but true service doesn't look for recognition. You see, when we go out and do selfless acts, God tells us that we may not get an earthly reward, but we're always going to get a heavenly reward.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Are you ready to help lock down the bank in 2024? Don't miss a single moment when quarterback Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars take on some of the biggest names in the NFL. Become a season ticket member now to get access to exclusive experiences, events, and player appearances all season long. Lock in your seats for 2024 now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
Surf in the Summer Surf Camp is now registering for camps this summer. Get your kids out to the beach this summer. For registration and session dates, log on to surfinthesummer.com. Surf in the Summer, Jacksonville Beach's premier surf camp.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Time for Best Bet What to Watch. Let me tell you all kind of big things going on at the Best Bet. You can get in on the action on Best Bet Live. See the full schedule and sign up to play on the feature table at bestbetjacks.com. And I do want to remind you the Poker Atlas Tour is coming to Best Bet St. Augustine June 6th to 16th. All kind of fun stuff. I'll give you one more. Coming soon to the Jacksonville Best Bet. Memorial Day weekend, a $100,000 guarantee and a $300 no-limit hold'em tournament. That's May 24th through 27th. There's always something new and something fun going on at the Best Bet. the best bet what to watch. I never thought I'd say this. I'm going to be locked in on – now, I'll watch the Pirates and the Cubs, but I'm going to tell people to lock in on some NBA. I think the NBA's got that good. It's almost – and JJ speaks to it way better than I do. But you almost feel like there's a turning point in the NBA. The new stars are emerging. Do you get that sense?
Oh, yeah.
I think there's new stars emerging, great players that people didn't know enough about. Edwards and Brunson and so many others that you just didn't know enough about these guys. And I think this is a great weekend to lock in. So I'm going to say what to watch this weekend is the NBA.
I love it. And, yeah, 9:30 tonight, Denver at Minnesota. And, I mean, it's not impossible, but if the Nuggets lose tonight, having to win 4 in a row against a team that is
it's never happened in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty much a death sentence for the world champs. So,
and that came out, and again, JJ may be new because he follows it. That came out of nowhere for me. I thought I didn't know if there was anybody that could beat Denver, much less beat them this quickly. I mean, I thought that kind of came out
I'm
of
with
nowhere.
you. I was shocked by that, especially after Gobert went down. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, they lost game 1. Star center's out. Of course they're going to just destroy them in game 2, and it was the complete opposite. The defense is just insane. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that energy for the whole series, but like Hays said, if they win tonight, it's over.
Hays, give us an idea now of the Jaguars, when we'll be able to report on them again. We were able to see them today. Like once a week, the media can see them, right?
Yeah, once a week. So I think we're back out there. I want to say a week from Monday is the Memorial Day
the
holiday.
Day after.
So we'll see them a week from Tuesday. And so we'll see them that Tuesday, the following Monday, so about a 6-day window, and then I think the Monday after that. And then the week after that, we have the 3-day mandatory minicamp, so we'll be able to watch them for 3 straight days.
And that's everybody.
That's everybody.
That's the whole team.
And that's the whole team, and everybody's got to be there. So the next 3 that we'll see is the whole team, but it's voluntary, so they don't have to be there.
And usually, by the way that plays out is most usually are.
I would think other than Josh Allen and guys that, like, maybe if you have some personal reason, a wedding or something. But for the most part, Josh didn't participate last year, and after the season he had, who could blame him if he wants to now? He made it a point of, I want to be there early because I need to learn the scheme. But at some point, I want to go do my training. So I don't know that we'll see Josh for all of it.
Yeah, and let me say, and one of the reasons you didn't see Josh last year or Evan Ingram the year before is they were not holdouts, but they were working through deals. Josh was in the last year of a deal. Evan had a franchise tag the year before or the year. So when you have a franchise tag or you're in the last year of your deal, you've got reason not to be there. Not part of it's leveraging, but part of it is just let me go get myself in the best shape I can, which is what Josh did. I don't think there's anybody in an awkward contract position this year.
No, not at all. So I would think that I would think other than Josh Allen, I would think that the vast majority, if not all of them, will be there. And again, it's Josh's right. And look, you get 17.5 sacks and set a franchise record, you can do whatever you want in the offseason. It's the way I look at it.
It's going to be fun, by the way. One of the things we saw today, we've known all along, Doug Peterson's told us as much, but this is Ryan Nielsen's defense. He's the head coach of the defense. Doug was kind of observing how the new staff went about their business today. Wasn't it interesting? Mm-hmm. He said, just seeing these guys the last few days, I can kind of see what the staff's trying to do, which is interesting for a head coach who's confident and secure enough to let his coordinator be the head coach of the defense. So it'll be fun to see what they wind up bringing up. All right, almost out of time. I do want to tell you, if you're following this Gator baseball thing, the Gators desperately need to win 2 of 3 this weekend, and I think next weekend. This is the big one because Kentucky's so highly ranked. In game 1 of a 3-game set, the final home series of the year, they lead 6-3 going to the 8th inning. So we'll see if they hold on to a 3-run lead as the Gators are trying to move along. By the way, the Gators still are 23rd in the RPI.
It's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Still 23rd in the RPI despite everything else. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't go anywhere. Hacker is up next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.